Good afternoon, Berry parents and students. Dr. Haniger here.
Dr. Adams.
We just wanted to give you a quick update so that you can make the best decision possible this Friday, July 31st, regarding whether you want to pursue in-person or remote learning.
Before we get into specifics of the differences between remote learning as well as in-person here at Berry, I want to give you a few updates. First thing that's really important for parents to know is please reach out with questions. My email address is Haniger, Hanigerj, @platco.k12.mo.us. Please absolutely reach out with any questions, and I will do my very best to not only respond timely, but with as much information as available at this point in time. Secondly, our district office is doing a great job fielding questions and responding to families so that they have the information they need to make a very difficult decision for their children. Our district has also put together a frequently asked questions page, which I will include in the links on our newsletter, so that you can see all the questions that are coming up and what the district's response is with regards to those questions. It's very nicely laid out for families. It's broken down by category that aligns with our district's reopening plan. So I encourage you to look there in addition to reaching out for assistance. What you'll also see that Dr. Adams and I are going to talk about is the differences between remote and in-person learning. Also in the newsletter, there'll be a chart that lays out the information as well.
Hey guys, just want to make sure that you understand that Dr. Haniger and myself have been doing a lot of work to make sure that the building is a safe place to accommodate all of our needs for social distancing. So we do, in every classroom, in every setting, we do have a plan for social distancing, and we are making sure that we have the needed equipment to social distance. As, for example, if a classroom has tables, we'll be using desks, or we will be using plexiglass, or we will have face shields. Those are all possibilities as we commit to providing a safe and caring environment for all staff, students, and any of our visitors. We will be evaluating some different processes, as in like transitions, dismissal, and arrival. And there might be some changes to those. As of right now, we have made some small changes, just providing more entrances for arrival and dismissal, or exits for dismissal. And also in the cafeteria, we are providing some changes there for social distancing, as in like for tables, putting up plexiglass barriers. Hey guys, Dr. Adams again. Talking about in-person learning and making sure that you understand exactly what in-person learning looks like as we, once again, we make our decisions on the 31st of whether we're going to be in-person or remote. If you'll notice, Dr. Haniger and I, when we were together, we had our face masks on, our face coverings on. When we're separate, we don't have to wear those right now because we are complying to social distancing. In the classroom, that is how it will be in-person instruction. You will have to wear a face mask when you are in transition in a classroom, when you're up and walking around. And then when you're sitting at your desk, if you are socially distanced, you may be able to take it off when the teacher allows you to do that. Let's talk about supplies. Some classes we have to share supplies. Those supplies, we are going to limit the amount of sharing supplies, but also we're going to make sure if there are shared supplies that those are sanitized throughout the day. Speaking of cleaning, our classrooms will be thoroughly cleaned routinely throughout the day. We are looking at before the beginning of school, in the middle of the day, and then also at the end of the day to make sure that we're providing a sanitized environment, sanitized furniture, that type of thing for our students and staff. So as we talk about in-person learning, let's talk about our specials classes. We have identified 4 classes that we will have to probably do some special accommodations, whether it be for activities or for the setting. That is PE, and that is health, band, and choir. For those, on those activities, sometimes it's a struggle to maintain those distances or a struggle to maintain that sanitized environment. So sometimes those classes could be done outside when reasonable. Also, when we are using materials within those classes, we'll make sure that those materials, if they're shared, are sanitized at all times. Once again, those activities and that setting could be modified just to make sure that we're providing that safe and caring environment for staff and students. Another factor of in-person learning is Google Classroom, and I know all of you know about Google Classroom because we used it last year. So therefore, we will be using that in our classrooms as well in our in-person learning, not as much as it would be if we were totally remote, but we will be providing some initial training for our staff and for our students to make sure that our time on there is productive and we're making it a meaningful experience for students.
Again, Jason Haniger here, principal at Berry, to talk to you about remote learning. So it's going to be on Google Classroom. We will have teachers that are dedicated to the remote learning environment, separate from what we're doing here at Berry. There will be components of direct instruction. There'll be lots of independent practice, and they'll obviously be available as needed for support to answer questions and such. Daily attendance will be monitored. You can anticipate anywhere from 4 to 6 hours of engagement on the student's behalf. The parents will have to support as needed, especially at younger ages compared to, say, the high school. There will be district-issued technology for students to use, and Google Classroom is going to be the main function or platform that we're delivering both instruction but also assessing student learning. Finally, we'd like to ask that all families please respond by Friday, July 31st in Parent Portal to indicate whether you are planning on attending in person or attending via remote learning. This is extremely important to us so that we can figure out a few things. One, staffing to ensure that the buildings as well as our virtual environment are both staffed appropriately. So that's the first thing. The second thing that's super important is for us to know transportation-wise who intends to ride a bus, who's planning on riding in a car, and finally, meal service. These are 3 things that we need to work on immediately after the declaration date. And so we really are asking all of our families to please fill that out no matter which option they will choose. Thanks again. We're going to be working hard over the next few weeks to ensure we're providing meaningful experiences for students both virtually as well as in person. And we want to make sure that we have the safest environment for our students and staff.